video on YouTube. Hey, pay close attention, everyone. I can't believe no one else is noticing the huge crypto event unfolding right now. If you're an XRP holder, you're in on it. The reasons why the coming year might change the course of financial history are going to become clear to you. I say we jump right in. You can see that I'm about to explode it on your screen. This should hit you like a ton of bricks because when Andre Casterman knew cryptocurrency assets such as XRP and XLM will establish their worth and discover specific uses alongside government-backed currencies, according to one of the principal developers of Swift's worldwide payment rails. We are all familiar with Swift. Attention all, that is not a viewpoint without merit. This material is not being shared by a crypto influencer and someone who has spent a considerable amount of time planning the infrastructure of the current financial system has now publicly acknowledged that cryptocurrency will be a part of the next such system. It is precisely what these banks will be able to accomplish thanks to ISO 2022. But he only made a passing reference to crypto, didn't he? Although the term crypto is often bandied about, no one wants to admit the specific cryptocurrencies he mentioned. Two assets, XRP and XL, integrated into IBM's and Ripple's cross-border payment system. In a way, this is the original internet designer, isn't it? Pointing at Google in 1998 and saying, yep, that one, it's going to matter. Plus, it lays the groundwork for far larger things to come, doesn't it? Now that we know what's going on behind the scenes, the XRP price charts appear much less random and much more invertible, which brings us to this, setting the tone for the entire story we're about to tell. This photograph is shared at least 10 times a week, and I still find it boring. However, in all candor, nobody should give this any consideration. Is this possible? Would you believe this is the final act? It appears on your screen just below it. Swift and Ripple are getting close to a deal that would allow them to use XRP for international payments. Millions of XRP have been placed in escrow, according to the report. Given this reality and the quantity of XRP that these ETFs are removing from the OTC markets, do you have any idea of where XRP's price could go? Has this been officially announced? Yeah, it's not. On the other hand, it can't be denied, can it? So far, Ripple has remained silent about the matter. No one from Swift's camp has publicly denied this. Okay, let's take it easy for a second, shall we? The plots are beginning to fit together, so let's utilize reasoning to solve this problem. Swift has acknowledged that XRP and other crypto assets will function alongside fiat currency. Tokenizing settlements is an active feature of Swift's infrastructure update. Ripple has completed the necessary infrastructure, including the rails, message layers, and liquidity layer. But tell me, does anyone really think this is just wild guesswork anymore? Or is it more like two jigsaw pieces that have been resting on the table for 10 years, finally fitting together in terms of money? And my friend, XRP doesn't merely rise in value if this is indeed made public. It tears down every mental barrier ever printed. Destroys the all-time high, whatever you want to call it, 350 or 380, it wouldn't make a difference. Way beyond those figures, it is going. But that's worth considering. Isn't it fascinating? And listen, there's an easy way to keep ahead of all these maneuvers with 40-head headlines. We have some remaining slots that will eventually be filled. I am currently available to take your 101 request. We will dissect stories such as these. There will be a live discussion of chart setups, ETF flows, and institutional positioning. Just like this in person, us two on camera. Nothing at all, no scripts. This is a personalized call for you. Customized just for you. No matter who I talk to, they always seem to have a million questions. You are the only one it is intended for. Also, let's discuss the newsletter. Who is excluding you from the newsletter? There is no cost. Additionally, if you have already subscribed to the newsletter but have not received it, please double check your email address since you will be prompted to confirm your subscription in order to receive future emails. You just need to verify it, reaffirm your desire to be a part of it. Your addition to the list is contingent upon your clicking the immediately delivered follow-up email. Each and every video has all of those links below it. Get set up right now by clicking on their link. Just so you know, the newsletter is completely free. I see it. It costs nothing at all. Re-enter the chaos. Adore the chaos. Thus, I am involved in the cryptocurrency market. Yes, I think it is likely the case for you as well. In case you were uninspired by the first half of the video, or if you didn't find it compelling enough, we're about to pour gasoline on the fire. Bitwise's XRP ETF received $18 million in a single day of inflows. About $18 million. After only 3 days of launch, they have already amassed $135 million. Take some time for that to land. A span of 3 days. This is not marketing jargon. This isn't spam on Twitter. Institutional capital is this. Finally, a channel for the large, sluggish institutions to inject money into XRP. And I already mentioned that we require 5 live users. Given the current flows, we should be able to achieve an average of 40 to 60 million each day once we have 5 active users. I want you to figure out what it will look like in 1, 3, 6, and 12 months. Lots of XRP has disappeared. Most folks aren't paying attention because they're too busy wondering why the price hasn't changed. Plus, we've already covered the fact that we've simplified it. I intend to dedicate a whole video to that. So, across all 4 of these existing ETF providers, correct? Varieties such as Bitwise, Canary, Grayscale, and Frankie T. The total volume each day is approaching 40 million. We may just use the number we have and perform the necessary calculations. Roughly 1.2 billion each month, or 40 million per day. Transferring funds into an asset with a defined supply, with escrow funds released at regular intervals and a concrete utility pipeline taking shape in the background. This is the exact origin of Bitcoin ETF. Unassuming, calm, and underappreciated, and then all of a sudden supply couldn't keep up with demand. And you are aware of the outcome about the Bitcoin price in the presence of heaven and created an entirely new eternal peak. Furthermore, XRP's price isn't going to increase gradually once that occurs. It won't be like that door that makes a constant creaking sound as you open it. The price is going to explode. A slingshot will be fired. The news got more stranger when we learned about it today. Official Charter. You've probably heard of that name, a huge international bank that is already an investor and partner with Ripple. Their decision to take custody of their assets for 21 shares was just disclosed. A tremendous amount. There ought to be 21 shares going live. It is Tuesday, I think. On Wednesday, you will receive this video. Accordingly, Thursday should see their launch. A large bank that has previously invested in Ripple and collaborated with the company is now serving as the custodial layer for a regulated cryptocurrency product. I assume you're familiar with the term. It's based around blockchain rails and it's bank grade. The TradeFi behemoths know exactly what will be housed in the vaults when they begin construction, which brings us to this point. Here you must pay great care. Don't be worried, I'll begin playing this clip. Bitcoin isn't going anywhere, according to a $40 billion hedge fund. You know, the type of player that doesn't care about hoopla or Twitter trends. Probably what comes to mind is a RIP. Bitcoin right there. What does that have to do with XRP? Well, it's not hard at all because wise investors don't make lone claims. They stand in a certain way. Those who are buying Bitcoin dips are likely positioning themselves for the digital asset class as a whole to reach maturity. Utility, settlement, and infrastructure tokens are the ones that will shine once the market as a whole reaches maturity. Hear me out. 16 times since 2012, the value of the coins has dropped by more than 30%, 19 times by more than 20%, and 33 times by more than 10%. It's unpredictable. It will remain highly unpredictable. There may be a slight decrease, but we have already witnessed that. However, that being said, it will remain. It is increasing. That is why we have introduced 3 different levels of security for Bitcoin: 100%, 90%, and 80%. They have performed exceptionally, particularly during the most recent drop in light of their risk appetite for participation. Here are a few things that we released. In spite of Bitcoin's 30% drop, they did very well. The involvement of a $40 billion hedge fund in Bitcoin is enormous, folks. Plus, Bitcoin isn't the only one. That much is obvious. But it never does. To get them involved with cryptocurrency, that is your one-way street. And then, as scheduled, we have the CFTC chairman. Lock in the tone of shifting, she says as she rises to her feet. Sense a change in the tempo. The government's efforts to stifle cryptocurrency have shifted. They are now making plans to organize it. Furthermore, flee the area as soon as you notice the regulator's expression change from fear to resistance. Now that we've formalized it, we don't want to be involved in any way. Wall Street begins to construct its goods at that point. Banks incorporate liquidity at that point. At that point, rails like RippleNet start to become the norm. The era for which we have been waiting for the past decade has finally arrived. Plus, I've already stated it and will say it again. Under Trump, everything happens. As soon as he steps down from office, he will see to it that the stock market reaches new heights, employment is soaring, the housing market takes off and becomes affordable for more people, and that crypto prices continue to soar, all because the United States is the driving force behind them. The timer is ticking down. He just has 3 years remaining. Within the next 3 years, everything will be sorted out. Let me tell you something, it won't take 3 years, and we'll likely have numerous runs during that time. And now we reach Reese Merrick, the last piece of the puzzle. Everything comes together at this point in the story. Hidden Road, now known as Ripple Prime, was recently acquired by Ripple. Similar to Amazon Prime, an international prime broker that handles $3 trillion in all markets annually. Wow, that's really significant. $3 trillion, everyone. Ripple is now the proud owner of a worldwide multi-asset prime brokerage, making history as the first crypto-native enterprise in the world. Everything, foreign exchange, digital assets, derivatives, fixed income, etc. And you can probably imagine what they're putting up as security. You got it right if you predicted XRP and RLUSD. This is liquidity fit for major institutions. You see, a route map does not exist. No, this isn't a policy document. Attention, this is happening right now. Ripple's ecosystem is now accessible directly to 300 institutional customers. Contrast with adoption, it's not a guess. There is a worldwide integration of financial markets. Additionally, we are extremely early risers. Thus, let's take a step back for a while. Get Swift to acknowledge that XRP will function alongside government currencies. Financial institutions are moving into a new position. The supply is being sucked dry by ETFs at an alarming rate. We have launched our prime brokerage. Hedge funds are accumulating assets. The regulators are beginning to relax their stance, and liquidity trains are taking shape. Along with Ripple, they have now entered the institutional sphere with a clearing powerhouse worth $3 trillion. This is all real. The new monetary system and the asset at its core are being constructed in a coordinated, multi-layer fashion. Lies XRP. Listen up, everyone. You're in the lead if you're tuning in at this very moment. A lot of people would wish someone had informed them when this next phase arrives. I really hope you'll agree with me and give it a like. Additionally, please consider forwarding this movie to your loved ones. Inform them of the current situation. Because RIP has arrived and RIP tells it like it is, hold on tight, for the XRP age is only getting started.